more than likely, Sheena, it's good that we didn't hear them, and they're probably he's probably being immature. So, I'll tune back on the microphone later, but for the sake of this episode, we're gonna let Nick make it. Okay.
I ain't never missed my cue.
What's up, guys? Ryan Fitterman, the Fitterman and Friends podcast. I'm here with my guys, Manuel and Nick, hanging out today. Our other studio friends are busy, so we're doing the Three Stooges version of the podcast.
Oh boy.
We did a little redecorating. We have some art from one of our favorite artists. We'll give her a shout out later. We're just going to do a little review of the trips from the past 2 months. We've neglected you guys with updates on all of our signings, so we're going to do a little recap of all of our trips. How are you guys? What's up, Manuel?
Good.
Very bright and energized and green today.
Thank you. Since the last podcast, like, you're older, so.
Oh, yeah. Manuel's had a birthday since the last podcast, so you do look older and wiser, but you're bringing in the energy with the bright green, and Nick's got the throwback. What is that? A Puma running suit? I mean, let's go.
Figured we get a little Christmas festive, the red and green.
I missed the memo to dress up and be colorful today, but it is what it is. How's it going? Good?
It's good, yeah.
Nick?
Great. Busy, which is a blessing, so,
Yes, sir.
just chugging
Holiday
along.
season's coming
Yes,
up.
sir.
Things are getting crazy. Tyson fights behind us. Bunch of signings ahead of us.
Sure.
So let's just recap. So I think we're going to have to jump back into September, actually. So we'll jump right into this. I think the last event we hosted here in our building was the Andre Johnson signing, which was a huge success here in Houston. So thank all the fans for coming out to see Andre write HOF 24 on items for the very first time. First Texans Hall of Famer. So that was a big deal.
There were decent turnout. I think all the fans were pleased with the environment, the meeting Andre, and I mean, he was good to all the fans.
Yeah, there was a video that kind of went viral.
Oh, yeah.
Andre, a customer brought in Andre beating up Courtney Finnegan. A statue, or what'd you call it?
McFarlane.
Yeah, like a custom made McFarlane of Andre beating him up. So that video actually went viral. It was on
Bleacher Report.
DraftKings. It was on Bleacher Report. So the video of Andre just kind of, I think he had like a straight face with like a little evil grin signing that. So that was a cool moment. It was great to have the Houston fans back in our facility. That was a good time. So Nick, when we had Andre here, you got to work with him firsthand while, we were running around doing all different kind of things. What was it like meeting Andre? I know you're a
Miami guy.
You're a
Big
Miami guy, so that was
all about the U. So big Miami fan. Me and Dre got the same music taste. My boy Future.
Oh yeah, a lot of cuss words. I do remember that. So you enjoyed meeting Andre. He's about his business. He's super quiet, down to earth.
Straight to work.
All business.
Yep.
All the fans were happy. Manuel, I think you hit on that. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, so this was the third time working with them. We did a couple privates with them.
Is he flexing on us?
we had him at our show, Autograph Show Texas, a few years ago. This is the first time I went public with them. So like they said, he is very quiet, but he was very cordial, very, he interacted Andre Johnson style with the fans, just greeting them, shaking hands. Thank you. So, I mean, if you know Andre, he's very quiet, very to himself. So just getting that from him, I think the fans were pretty pleased with that.
Sophia helped you out.
Yeah, Sophia was there,
right?
Helping out, passing pins and stuff like that. But like Nick and Ryan said, I mean, he's a cool guy. He's all about business. And, we did what we had to do that day. And I think everyone was happy.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
He got a lot of congratulations.
Oh, for sure.
First signings, Hall of Fame, or inducted.
No, he deserves it. I mean, he's always been a class act on the field and off. I mean, he's a staple in the Texans franchise. He's an icon here in Houston. So, it was awesome to be fortunate enough to have him do his first public appearance post being inducted into the Hall of Fame here at our facility. Our fans really appreciated having him out. So that was a lot of fun. We have a lot of trips and signings to cover, transitioning into I think it was like a couple weeks later or the next weekend.
Well, actually, right after the Andre signing, me and you left to Vegas to do a private with Mike.
Oh, geez, I forgot. We did. We left that night.
Yeah, we left that same night.
It's not even on the board, and I forgot about that. We did. We went out to Tyson's gym in Vegas, and after he completed a training session, we had a signing with him there at the gym, and flew back like the same day, I think, right? I mean, we've had so many signings since the last time we did a podcast speaking about our events that, you know, fortunately, like you said, it's great to be busy, but we forget to catch up. But we did dip out to Vegas and do a signing with Mike really quick, came home, and then the next weekend we went to Nashville, right?
And then going back to that was pretty cool because obviously the fight being a big deal, being in his private gym where he's training and trained for the fight, that was a pretty, I mean, at least for me, a surreal moment.
Oh, it was. I mean, I've been to Mike's gym, you know, many times, but it was me, you, Mike, and Miss Tyson, and the whole gym. We're sitting by the ring, posted up. We kind of made like a makeshift desk and signing area. Just knocked out what we needed to knock out. Mike signed some things we needed to fill from trading card companies and some orders, and we knocked it out. No pun intended.
Yeah.
And
that was pretty cool.
I forgot about that.
So that was a little quick trip to Vegas.
Yeah. And fast forward to Nashville. That was a crazy weekend. Our show out there, our buddy David runs the Music City show in Franklin. I think we covered this on another episode, but David runs an amazing show. The fans there come from all over that section and region of the U.S. The show's just outside of Nashville. It's in Franklin, Tennessee. Super cool place to hang out. And
a nice first ever show we've done at a rodeo arena, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Different, completely different from what we used to. But like he said, David runs a great show out there.
We had Tyson there, which was absolutely insane. I literally thought the line was never going to end. Yeah. I mean, that was just wild. Like every time I thought the photo op line for Mike was going to be over, I'd peek out the booth and look, and I'm just like, there's no way this line is going around the whole entire stadium, out the building, in the rain. Like, that was insane. But that was our first time to bring Mike to that part of the country. So that was wild. Obviously, Flair's done the show numerous times, and he still has a huge crowd. And we touched on this on another episode, but obviously that was Pete Rose's last ever appearance, and a beautiful last day with him and the Big Red Machine. We have a whole entire episode to Pete, and I don't want to get emotional in this one, so we're just that was Pete's last public appearance and last, 24, 36 hours on Earth. An amazing time with Fitterman Sports team, the fans of the Nashville show, and we have a whole episode dedicated to Pete. So there were some funny stories from that day, and just Pete being Pete, but obviously last appearance with him. So that was a special day for us as a Fitterman family. So that completes the Nashville show.
That completes the show, but you had a whole experience / I mean, I guess experience would be getting invited to a party out there in Nashville.
So Kid Rock lives in Nashville. After we got Tyson and Pete to the airport, Flair's like, "Hey, do you want to go hang out with Kid Rock at his honky tonk downtown?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't want to do Sunday Fun Day with Kid Rock?" It's kind of a tradition every time we go to Nashville is to link up with the kid, and so that was fun. And I didn't know what the event was. A Trump Republican event in Nashville at his bar. So we go upstairs to the top floor of his bar, and it's me, Kid Rock, Ric Flair, and Donald Trump Jr. So that was a pretty wild event. We hung out there for a few hours, and Kid Rock did an impromptu concert, and hung out there and chilled with those guys for a little while, and then we jumped on a flight and came home.
And then even TMZ picked up that little event.
TMZ did pick up the story that we were there, and Rick was there at the event, and that was wild. Again, it's like we're going back to September, I believe, so some of this stuff has come and gone so quickly that I forgot that it happened. And then we were home a couple days, and we went to Palm Beach to do Stallone, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Being invited to Stallone's. Well, me personally being invited, period, to go.
It was my plus one on Southwest Airlines and in life experiences. So
to me personally, that was pretty cool. Getting invited to go do the signing. The signing took place at his house, and at least me. I know Ryan has more experience down this road, but being invited to someone's house to do a signing to me is pretty cool. And Stallone, to me, he's a big time actor, and being there and his wife being there and treating us like we were part of the family. I mean, at some point they offered us if we wanted smoothies or milkshakes or something, and his wife kept bringing us water and stuff like that. So to me, that was pretty cool.
You said that was up there on your like bucket list.
For sure.
I mean, I think your number one of all time is Al Pacino,
for
right?
sure. And to me, a lot of the experiences that I get to experience or been blessed to experience, I always go back to my childhood. So to me, growing up watching these movies with my dad or stuff like that, to me that ties it up, and it kind of sort of ties it up with your experience. I'm sure you're going to talk about here in a moment. But I mean, even earlier this year when we had the chips at our show, it's like I grew up watching those guys with my dad. So just stuff like that. To me, it's a cool because I get to tie it in with my childhood.
Well, there's so many guys that we work with that we either grew up watching the movies or cheering for them, on their team, and then it's like it comes full circle that these guys give us the opportunity to work with them. Some of them become friends, some of them become part of the family, some of them we get to work with numerous times. Obviously, well, thankfully, I've been to Stallone's house a couple times, and he's just a class act. And something that we appreciate from the memorabilia standpoint is, and you saw it firsthand, I mean, Stallone's autograph on most items, I mean, is like,
if the space is there,
he's filling it up. And, he's writing darn near every letter of his name, 12, 15, 18 inches. He cares how the pen looks. He cares for the placement of the autograph. And I mean, we're talking about one of the biggest movie stars of all time, one of the most famous names when it comes to talking about famous names. And to see him take so much time and consideration into signing these items. So for this go round of signings with Stallone, Bitterman Sports was the only company that you could mail in your items to get signed. So our good friend of mine, Nikki C. and Harlan, have represented Stallone for years. So much love to those guys. When you tune in and watch this episode, that opportunity wouldn't be possible without them. But they did give Bitterman Sports the opportunity to be the official mail-in company for Stallone for this particular signing. So it was really cool to see how much care and consideration that Stallone put into signing the customer mail-ins. And there was a couple of them where, so Stallone on the mail-ins only does Sly Stallone, which people complain about it because it's not Sylvester Stallone, but it's like, come on, man, that's a long name. Most people autographs are scribble.
Yeah.
Stallone's autograph is flawless and beautiful.
Even when he shorts and when he does just Sly.
Yeah, when he has a shorter sig.
It's still nice.
It's still unreal. And people would put notes on there like, sign in the top left, sign in the corner, please put Sly Stallone here, put Rocky here. And he would look at the pieces and be like, man, like they really took time and they wanted this perfect. And he'd give them a free inscription. He'd give them the full autograph. I mean,
there's a couple customers out there that got lucky.
Yeah, a couple of y'all got just super hooked up. And that's all on Stallone. That's not on us. Our team member, Kevin, bust his butt to make the mail-in process perfect, both for us during the signing and then the talent who's signing it. So shout out to our boy Kevin for just killing the mail-ins again on Stallone. That was insane, those results. And it was obviously a privilege to work with Stallone, but for him to take so much time to make every item perfect is something that we as a memorabilia company and as fans and collectors greatly appreciate.
And then, I mean, just piggybacking off of that, just being at his house and just hearing some of the stories he was selling, like all kinds of different posters would come up. So I think at one point an Expendables poster came up. But he started calling out people of who does stunts, who doesn't do their stunts.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about it. He was like, he does fake stunts. He uses a stunt double. He's a scaredy cat.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Because if you've watched I mean, that's the who's who of action hero actors. Yeah. So he was just calling them all out. I mean, he was probably talking crazy, which was fun, which was pretty cool. And
he like, so-and-so has a terrible autograph. Oh, Chuck Norris's autograph is cool. This guy's autograph sucked. I mean, it was obviously it's all in good fun. All the guys are his friends, and that movie franchise, they're like a little fraternity. So there was no harm, but to be at his house in a comfortable setting was unbelievable.
And then another, obviously his hit show right now, Tulsa King. So him talking about if they're going to renew it or not, how they're still in talks and stuff like that. And then he had a whole, what is it?
Wardrobe case.
Case. And he was like, oh yeah, those are all the suits or whatever from Tulsa King, which I mean, I'm a Tulsa King fan. I know Ryan's watched it.
I love it.
So that was pretty cool. Just seeing, the clothing that was there from the show. So that was pretty cool.
Circling back, it wasn't this signing that you were there, but one of the other times I was at Stallone's house, we're in there signing and he's like, oh man, my phone's ringing. He pulls it out. He's like, sorry guys, I can't ignore this call. We're like, I mean, you're Stallone. We're at your house. Like, do whatever you want, right? And it's Tommy Hilfiger. And he's like, Tommy's like, hey, are you home? He's like, yeah, I'm home. Like, what's going on? And I'm thinking, well, this is cool. Like, he's going to come by the house. We're going to get to meet Tommy Hilfiger. Like, this is really interesting. He's like, yep. Yeah, Tommy, I'm home. Okay. 7 minutes? Yeah. All right, cool. And I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, they're probably neighbors. He lives down the street. And Stallone goes, hey guys, we got to go out to the back on the pier. Tommy's going to go by on his yacht. I'm like, oh boy. Right. So in Palm Beach, near, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, it's the yacht capital of the world, I think. Maybe.
We saw some nice ones pulling up to
so the boats there are yachts or small cities, whatever you want to call them, are unbelievable, right? So we go out to this super long pier with Stallone, and there's boats everywhere. There's some parked, some going by, and we're just like, where's his boat? Where's his boat? I'm like, oh, is that, like, guys, Tommy Hilfiger is going to pass by. Let's check this out. We're like, is that his boat over there? Is that his over there? And we're just waiting and waiting. All of a sudden, we look to the left, and I mean, this yacht is like, it's a small town. This thing is like 8 levels high, like 200 feet long. And we're just like, holy shit, that's his boat. So he drives right past Stallone. He honks the horn, and Stallone's waving at him. I guess
that's pretty cool.
I guess Tommy had some friends like he wanted to flex to and be like, hey, watch this, guys. Like, I can have Stallone walk out of his house and wave to us, like, who can just call Rocky and have him come running outside. So that was an unreal moment. So that was incredible. But again, thank you to my boy Nicky C in Harlan for making that signing possible again with Stallone. We appreciate that opportunity, and we look forward to doing more with you guys. Sure. But you're trying to like alley-oop me to a Stallone story.
Yeah.
So a few days before we're leaving for the signing, my son's getting older now and playing with cars and he loves tractors. And so I remember I have a case of tractors from when I was a kid, little John Deere tractors. So I go in the warehouse to look for these for Royce to take home and play with them. And I find this little blue container that I know all my tractors are in. I go and open it up. And obviously it's like, I'm pushing 40 now. I haven't played with the tractors, in 35 years, right? So I go and open the case up. And what do I find in there? The only item that's in the case that is not a tractor is a Rambo action figure. And I'm like, 35 years ago, little Ryan and his older brother, like, I never thought, the Rocky action figure that I was playing with, that, fast forward, I'd be hanging out with the guy at his house. So that was a pretty full circle moment that, 36 hours, 48 hours before we go to Stallone's house, I find my Rocky action figure or my Rambo action figure from, 30 plus years ago. So Manuel talked me into taking it to the signing. Posing with Stallone with the action figure. So that was a pretty surreal moment. I know you were stoked to work with him.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely cross it off your bucket list. And then what? So after the Stallone signing, we flew from Palm Beach straight to Virginia for the CSA show. Who do you have at CSA?
Hakeem, Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler, KARL Malone, Oscar Robertson.
So
sweet lineup.
4 of the NBA's top 50 players ever in one day at one time, all represented by the Fitterman sports family. That was unbelievable.
It was awesome.
I'm a basketball guy. He's a music guy, a vinyl guy, a whatever guy, a coffee guy, a bright shirt guy. I don't fucking know, but not basketball is everything to me. So obviously Big O doesn't fall in that 90s era, but to have Hakeem, Clyde, KARL Malone all in one room at one time and throw in the Big O, Mr. Triple Double, that was pretty iconic. Who'd you work with that weekend?
KARL Malone.
You work with Malone. So Fitterman Sports exclusive client. KARL Malone does not do very many signings at all. I think
he loves the fans though.
He does.
For sure.
Well, let's tap into that in a second. But I think Malone's done 3 signings in the past 25, 28 years. 2 of the 3 signings have been ours.
Yeah.
You sat with them public, right?
I did. Yep.
So we're at CSA. we'll start there. You had the mailman. I know when he did our show in Houston, he was just unreal with the fans.
Yep.
He's super funny. He's super energetic. He's great to be around. Tell us a little bit about the fans at the show, interacting with him and the vibe.
So obviously, like I said, 25 years, done 3 signings. So obviously it's their first time to meet him. And he gave a great first impression. I mean, you got an autograph. If he would take a couple photos here and there, which, you know, some people are, this isn't the photo op line, this autograph line, but the fans wanted it, you know, super cool with the fans. I think in the photo op line, he had a conversation with every single person.
Yeah.
So that took a little longer. But
yeah, I went to his son and I'm like, hey, my man, this is unbelievable. And we love this. And this is great. But this show only has one photo op booth. And in the photo booth was already like 45 minutes behind.
Oh, man.
And he's like taking pictures with every fan and videos and this and that. I'm like, this is phenomenal, but let's save that for the autograph stage.
He did the same thing in the autographs too. So conversation, but it's good for the fans. And that was, like, I talked to his son a little bit, and that was his goal. You know what I mean? Like, we want to make the fans happy. We're here for the fans. I think he was successful on his goal. Another thing I was going to say about the back room too, we had those 3 guys, but we had a lot of guest appearances. That was cool. Like,
yeah, Sean Kemp came back to see us.
Gary Payton came through, so that was cool too.
And Reed.
To have
Reed. I think he was chopping it up with what, NFL Hall of Famer?
He is from the University of Miami.
But is he a Hall of Famer? Ed Reed?
I think so.
Anyways, him and Ed Reed were chopping it up, you know, having like cigar conversation.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then well, we had the 4 basketball stars in the back. Like you said, Sean Kemp came in, Gary Payton came in. So that was it was amazing to be just a fly on the wall. It was a locker room atmosphere, just having these guys chop it up and talk trash. And Rodman came in.
All guys Fitterman Sports has worked with, so
correct, or represented, or all the above.
Felt comfortable coming to say what's up.
So fortunately at the CSA show, we usually have like the higher end clients come to that show. So a lot of the shows and what the fans don't get to see, when we say show, we mean autograph convention. So the backroom aspect of the show is usually off limits to the fans. And it's just craziness back there. It's like a grown man's like sports fantasy wonderland, right? With just dozens of sports icons just running around everywhere, signing autographs, hanging out. We are a little bit more high maintenance. And so we respectfully ask at these shows for, the back room is already private and it's secured so the public can't come in there. But we're a little more high maintenance in this aspect of, we ask for and we require our own private area within the private area. And so when Nick says, or I say, you know, they come into our area, it's either curtained off or blocked off, or it's a special room, or, you know, it's a room within inside a room, just so we can give our talent some privacy. So to be in our space with Hakeem, Clyde, the mailman, Oscar Robertson, and then Rodman comes in and Kemp comes in and Gary Payton comes in, and it's pretty surreal. It's unbelievable to just be there. And I think it was funny. I'm not sure the last time Hakeem and Malone saw each other, but they were talking shit in basketball, and Malone was talking about, or Dream was talking about how dirty of a player Malone was, and how he would have these tricks and like lean on you a certain way or pull on your arm or hit you here. And Karl Malone and Hakeem were just chopping it up about battling each other in the 90s and playing dirty and being cheap and or clever or strategic, however you want to look at it.
And they both still look like they can play at their age. I mean, they're
gosh.
And
Hakeem and Malone just are in unbelievable shape. They look like
Clyde look great too.
And Clyde look like they can still go, you know, average a double-double in the league today.
What about a pickup game with them?
Could you imagine? They would school some of these guys nowadays just based off of like the knowledge and the wisdom.
Yeah.
You know?
Take them to the park.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
With Hakeem, Clyde.
Well, I mean, we should just start our own 3-on-3 league, right? Like we could have our NBA legends go against Ice Cube's, you know, guys who didn't make the league, right?
Yeah. We got to come strong next year.
For what?
That's back-to-back quadfectas we've had at CSA.
Oh, the first time we had the boxing legends, right? Who do we have in one day?
Sugar Ray, Mike Tyson, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns.
And then we
All fired.
followed that up with,
another quadfecta
wow,
basketball.
So that's a good word. Quadfecta. You must have to go to college to learn that shit. Quadfecta. So come April CSA, we got to bring the heat.
Yeah. Got
your
a
first
reputation a little.
Challenge accepted.
Yes, sir.
Stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
So then, does that wrap up CSA? You have any crazy stories? Who did you work with?
I got to
Derek had Akeem.
Yeah.
Mario
had
had
Oscar.
You had Clyde.
I had Clyde.
Clyde.
Clyde, I mean,
Clyde was
he's
in and
always
out.
a class act. He shows up in a suit, ready, like, you know, he's running for office or something. So he's always a class act. Him and his brother, I've got to go public with them. Same thing. You know, he's great with the fans, greets everyone, handshake. Same thing at the autograph booth, you know, gives everyone, you know, their time.
You were squeezed for time, though, right?
Yes.
So this is something else the fans don't
Correct.
see is you're under pressure to produce and sign X amount of items to accommodate and fill all the orders, to do the public side of it, but you also had a 4-hour window.
Correct. So
Plane landed at 1 and he's boarding at 5.
Correct. So we weren't pressed for time. So obviously, like they said, you know, we want the fans to have a great experience and leave happy, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we have to be the bad guys. You know, we have to, you know, beat up and, you know, tell the customers no while the talent wants to do whatever, you know, not whatever they want, but please the fans. So, but yes, I forgot about that. We did have a small window, so we were going from area to area. So another thing about a back room that wasn't touched is we have our own private area, but then there's other smaller areas where talent has to go and sign autographs for other vendors, or in this case, the show owners. So once again, you know, if they're not organized, that eats up into your time and stuff like that. But I mean, we made it happen as best as we could. One of the stories I have is I didn't know this. Clyde is a big Oscar Robertson fan, and
I got a story about this too.
And obviously they didn't play in the same time frame, so he had never really met Oscar Robertson or been in an intimate setting with Oscar Robertson. So I thought that was pretty cool because, I mean, I've marked out for people I want to meet. So to see someone of his caliber, status, you know, marking out for another person, I thought that was pretty cool.
Playing marking out.
Yeah, what's marking out mean? Like, for those of you who are not wrestling fans that watch our show,
I had to
I'm
learn
still
this word
thrown
too.
off when he says it. What's marking out?
So marking out is like geeking out, like fanboying. I mean, just
So you're okay, but it's a wrestling slang,
correct.
right?
It is a wrestling term. You're marking out as you're fanboying, geeking out, or you
Add
know,
that to the list, wrestling guy.
So
Wrestling guy.
one of the like a pop-up vocabulary word for every signing. You said quadrifecta.
Quadfecta.
What'd you say?
Quadfecta.
Quad.
Like a trifecta, but we had 4, so we had a quad.
Okay, so that's a word of the show. Mr. Mark. Wait,
mark
what
out,
is it?
mark out,
Like scratch it out.
marking out,
Marking out.
marking out.
That's a word
Marking
of the
out.
show.
Yeah.
I feel like there was something else at the beginning when I was like, what is this word? At least I'm improving on my vocabulary.
You're
here. So tying back into his amazing moment of viewing Drexler marking out to meet Oscar Robertson, I almost got myself in trouble in that incident. I did get in trouble. And so, yes, it was magical to see Hakeem, Clyde, Malone, and Big O just chopping it up. And so I brought all 4 of them together in the back. So selfishly, I could get a photo with the 5 of us. I'm writing the checks. I want a photo. op,
It wasn't
right?
so you let us get photos.
No,
A bunch of people jumped in. Okay. So anyways,
Sorry.
so we're sitting there, and as Manuel said, Drexler's never met Oscar. And so they're talking and talking and talking.
and I'm pressed for time.
He's pressed for time. Drexler has a flight to get on. So Drexler always travels with his brother, who helps manage and facilitate the signing. We love him. He's the man. You know, he jokes with us. So he's like, Ryan, go over there and get Clyde. Like, what, he's talking to Big O. Like, what do you mean do? He's like, Ryan, get Clyde. Like, so he tells me like 4 times to go pull Clyde from talking to Big O. So the 4th time I go over there, I'm like, hey, Mr. Drexler, like, time to sign autographs. He's like, enough. Whatever he said. And like, he just gave me that look, and I'm like, oh shit, I just pissed off Clyde Drexler. Like the day hasn't even got started yet, and I just made him mad. And if anyone knows Clyde, this is the nicest, coolest,
Yes, sir.
down to earth, most polite, most respectful, classiest gentleman ever. And he gave me that look, and I'm like, your brother told me to do it. He got me in trouble, you know? And I'm like, so I think nothing of it. I let it go. I'm like, I'm stepping out of the way. Clyde starts signing. Like 30 minutes go by. I think I'm just making the rounds, checking on everyone. Clyde goes, hey, Ryan, let me tell you something. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, if you ever see me having a conversation like that again, like, don't interrupt me. And I'm like, and he gave, I mean, I felt this big. I felt stupid. And I'm like, I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm telling. I'm like, it's your brother's fault. He did it. This is, and his brother's over there laughing, pointing at me. He knew he got me in trouble. I'm like, no, I'm ratting him out. He's sitting right there. He's the one that told me to do it. He's the one that made me come get you. He's the one that told me to go over there 6 times. I'm like, oh, all due respect, I apologize, but he made me do it. So that was my Clyde Drexler, Oscar Robertson story. Luckily, Clyde, he checked me, and he let me know what time it was. When there's NBA 50 greats speaking to each other, the little autograph guy can scram and get out of the way. So lesson learned: don't interrupt legends talking, even if there's business to be had. And that was my oh shit moment for the day.
There was a reason his brother didn't do it.
There's a reason his brother didn't do it. He put it on me, right? Because he was there to help get the business done, but he wanted to get me in trouble. That was magical. The show is unbelievable. The guys at CSA are unbelievable. Always take good care of us. They really support our signings. For years now, it's been one of my favorite shows to be a part of.
For sure.
They host 3 shows a year. So as Nick called me out earlier on the podcast, I got to step my game up for the April CSA show. So to be determined on who we announce for that one. But we always love going to Chantilly, Virginia to support our guys there. And then so we did Palm Beach. We left. We went to Chantilly, Virginia. We did that. We left. We went straight to Indiana.
Oh, actually, we flew home for like 12 hours.
Oh, we did.
Even, like
we did go
10
home.
hours.
We did go home. We did. I forgot. Last minute, we said, what the heck? Let's fly home. Spend the night in our own bed, see our families. And then we flew there the next day to Indiana to do Larry Bird. So that was a really cool project. Larry Legend, icon, another NBA at 50 great. I guess that was the theme of the week was, mega names, untouchable icons, as Sheena would say. But that was a different signing with Larry Bird because I bought a 5-foot by 5-foot piece of the Boston Garden parquet floor, and it had a part of the 3-point line on it. And we had our guys, Derek and his team, cut up the pieces really small. So we went up there. They're actually available on our website, but you can get like a 2-inch by 4-inch, I think, piece of the Boston Garden famous parquet floor signed by Larry Bird. That was a cool moment to work with Bird and have him sign some of the floor. He's a gentleman. He's all business, but if anybody's ever worked with Larry Bird before, he's a man of very few words. So for him to essentially not speak the entire signing, and you are not allowed to speak either during that signing, and your phone's got to be on silent or else you will get banned.
Facts.
He doesn't mess around. Again, like, he's super cool. He's a gentleman. He's grateful that we're there. He's obviously an icon to work with, but he's all business. He wants to get in and out, and you're playing the quiet game the whole time. And if you lose, you're not coming back next time. So I told Mino, I said, hey, bro, don't talk to him. Don't talk to me. Don't let your phone ring. Let's just get these pieces of the basketball court signed and get out of here. And if you wanted to take a call, you had to step out of the room. And if you needed help from somebody, like, you had to whisper. And I mean, they were telling us stories. Like, he'll just stop in the middle of the signing and be like, hey, you're banned. Hey, you can't go. You're banned. Like, he's all business.
There was people there that just got off their band.
Yeah. So they were welcome back, but now they're like on probation.
Yeah.
But no, he's super cool to work with. If he's gracious enough to give you some of his time out of his life and sign autographs for us, then you got to respect the rules. And it's not a jab at him by any means. I just think it's interesting for the fans to understand the different personalities of these icons behind the scenes and how some are cutting up, some are, offering you a glass of scotch, some are saying have a cigar, some of them are giving you a tour of their house, some of them don't want to talk and want nothing to do with you. So again, like my boy Darren, who always hooks me up with Larry Bird a few times a year. Shout out to Darren Prince for hooking me up with him. And we're not taking a stab at Mr. Bird by any means. He's quiet and about his business. You get your stuff signed and see you next time. So that was a week long of what was it, 6 days?
Yeah.
Stallone, Hakeem, Clyde, KARL Malone, Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird. And then that was like a 6-7 day window, which is it takes a few days to kind of absorb it all once the signings are over and just look back and be like, Manuel or the team or Nick, like what did we just do? Like what just happened? Like we just lived so many people's dreams in a 5-6 day window that it's hard to just truly wrap your head around some of the opportunities that we were given.
We had one of those moments last weekend.
Where were we last?
You went to Charlotte after Bird.
Oh, so then after CSA, we had a few weeks break, and we had Ric Flair do a wrestling convention in Charlotte, or outside of Charlotte, right? Winston-Salem, I believe. So hour and a half away. And Rick says that's Flair country up there, right? The fans showed us on Saturday that it was Flair country. I mean, he meet and greet over like 600 fans on Saturday before we had to clock out and mandatory time to go to the bar and watch football. So that was pretty incredible to see Rick like in his element. And
For sure.
I mean, maybe he named his daughter Charlotte after Charlotte, or not named her, but wrestling name. So that's interesting, huh? We'd have to ask Rick that. Since Charlotte is Flair country, did Charlotte Flair get her name from that?
There you go.
Fun fact. We'll get back to you on that. So when a client calls, for lack of a better term, or schedules a meeting, you pretty much do whatever it takes to get there, to execute, to get it done on their terms, on their schedule, in the location that they pick. And this was one of those scenarios where the schedule really didn't work, and to get to that location was challenging, and you just have to say, yes, sir, no problem. I'll be there December 2nd, 2:00, like, no problem. And so a team of us were in Charlotte, or in Winston-Salem, to get it right. It's a 90-minute drive from there to the airport in Charlotte. Charlotte is a 3-hour flight to Houston that was 30 minutes late. Okay. So what's the math there? We're already at 7-hour travel day to come back to Houston. And now it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And we need to go to Ruston, Louisiana, which is about 5 hours from our office in Houston.
Yeah.
And so Nick picks us up at the airport. Kevin comes with us. It's the three of us. We're going to road trip to the sticks of Louisiana. 5-hour drive after already 8-hour travel day to go meet our client, KARL Malone, who was gracious enough to invite us to his house to discuss some business opportunities and check out some things there. So we said, man, let's take a break. Let's not drive the first 5 hours today in the dark, in the backwoods, in the sticks. I was like, let's go 2 hours to Lake Charles. We'll stay at the Golden Nugget. Maybe not, play some roulette. And then let's wake up in the morning. And so we stay the night there. Kevin decided to have a full casino day and stay behind, bet on some sports, hit the sports book. So Nick and I then drove 4 hours north from Lake Charles to Ruston, to the middle of nowhere in Louisiana. I'd never seen so many trees in my entire life. It's beautiful. But I mean, there's a point we're going down the highway and I'm like, we're just passing trees. I'm like, Nick, it doesn't even feel like we're going anywhere. It's like a hamster wheel where you're like, you're running. And it's like going down the highway, the car's moving, The trees are moving, but I'm just like, are we making any progress? So we finally show up in Ruston to this mega compound behind the big gates, and I led you up to what you said your surreal moment was.
Just going in the house, really. Being invited into KARL Malone's house. He invited us in.
So you walk in the front door of this house, and he greets us, his son greets us, his wife greets us, and
You gotta take it like foot by foot.
it's obviously they're Southern folks, so they're very, very welcoming. But you just can't be distracted about what's behind them. And so you're like, hey, KJ, which is his son, hey, Miss Malone, hugging her, talking about Thanksgiving, and you're like, you can't look at him, you're looking behind him. And I told Nick when we left, I said, when we describe this to anyone ever, they will never believe us.
There's no shot.
You can't explain his living room unless you see it. And so directly behind KARL Malone is a full-size grizzly bear.
Yep.
It's how things start. And that in itself is...
As soon as you walk in, to your left.
Yeah, that in itself is a wow.
Full-size buffalo.
Full-size buffalo. Full-size lion standing over a full-size tiger behind a full-size giraffe. And you look up, I swear the ceilings were 175 feet tall. Okay. Then there's deers and moose and antelope and peacocks and tigers and bobcats. And
these are not regular deer.
No, this
These
isn't
are
just
like
a
20, 25 point.
Yeah.
Like,
just
the head is as big as this entire chair.
there was moose heads and necks that were bigger than this couch.
Facts.
Like full
Like 8 of
size
them.
on the wall. Not one, not two, not three, like 150 taxidermy full size animals. I mean,
But
it was
in KJ's like, he's killed every single one. And he had every animal. Peacock, raccoon, bobcat.
animals you've never seen them.
He'd
like-
like ducks, like
If Peter's
everything.
watching, I'm sorry, ban the episode now, whatever. But they hunt in the South, and
Yeah.
this was just
Full-
unbelievable.
full-size zebra.
Full size, everything, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my, it was there
Everything.
in the living room.
You can hunt it. It was there.
Peacock,
Oh.
no room on the wall.
It was
Peacock
so
hanging high.
fascinating to see that. And so we start the meeting with like 4 chairs in the living room. We're talking and we're discussing some topics that we're not going to go over now, and stay tuned for fun and exciting events. And he's like, all right, guys, come on, let me show you the man cave. So he walks us in the man cave, and it's just full of jerseys, all-star jerseys, game used jerseys, like trunks that Ali gave him, and all his balls from 10,000 points, 15,000 points, 20,000 point balls. His 2 MVP trophies, his 2 all-star MVP trophies. I mean, just mind blown. It's like you walked into the Basketball Hall of Fame, and it's right there in front of you. And again, like as a kid, 90s basketball was everything to me, and it's like, there's the MVP trophy that he got over Michael Jordan that was so controversial, right? Like there's the 2 All-Star Game MVP trophies. And once I had a moment to soak it all in and try to absorb it, like, all right, guys, follow me. So we go in another room.
Step over the tiger skin. That's on the floor.
Step over the full-headed tiger on the ground. I was going to jump out of the ground and get my foot. I'm like, whoa, sorry, didn't.
Yes.
It was like the size of this
The
carpet.
whole body, yeah.
It was a full tiger
with
with
the whole skin.
it was the full skin, and then his head was like this. It was bigger than this
I think
rug
like
right here.
Ryan noticed he's almost stepped on the head.
I thought he was
Like-
gonna eat my foot. Like I stuck my foot in the tiger's head like this as I'm looking up around the room at the trophies and the basketball. I'm like, oh shit! Nah, this guy just comes out of the carpet. I'm
It
like,
was
this is
nuts.
wild.
You can't imagine it. It was insane. Awesome. It was awesome. Really, it's cool.
So
anyway,
I'm just going to say, for the sake of the podcast and privacy, we walk into another room, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So just when I was like, holy cow, this is a surreal moment, and we're looking at all his trophies and all-star uniforms and 4 MVPs, 2 all-star, 2 in the league, and well, you can't get any crazier. We go in another room. He opens a drawer, and pulls out 2 just small boxes about yay big. And I'm sitting there like, what could he possibly show us? And it's me, Nick, his son KJ, and then KARL Malone, Mr. Malone. And I'm just like, what is about to happen? Right? Like every time we go into the room, he's like leveling up, right? Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, he pulls out the holy grail of basketball items. Okay. The 1992 Dream Team medal. And I mean, some people say this is the greatest sports team ever assembled. I'm a basketball guy. I've only said that 12 times on this episode. And it's sitting right in front of me. And I'm just like, I literally like froze. I couldn't believe it. So he's showing it to me, right? And then he sets it down and he goes and he opens another box. Well, this was equally as incredible, but there's just something about the 92 Dream Team just hits different, okay? So he opens up another box and it's his 1996 Dream Team 2 gold medal. So I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing one of these. I can't believe I'm seeing both of them. The next thing you know, he's holding it and he goes, most Olympians wouldn't do this because it's like bad juju or a superstition or whatever, to where it's like, if you have a gold medal, only you wear it, or your son or whatever. He goes, I don't believe in all that. I think it's fun to, share with my friends and family. And I don't know where he's going with it. He takes the 1992 Dream Team medal and puts it around my neck, on my chest, and presents it to me.
And he's standing like that. He's standing like that. Right?
Like and I'm sitting there and I'm in shock. I have goosebumps. I'm speechless. I'm frozen. Then he grabs the 96 Dream Team medal too, the Dream Team 2 medal, puts that on me, separates them, and I have Dream Team 1, Dream Team 2 medal, gold medal sitting on my chest, and I'm frozen. I have goosebumps. I don't know what the hell to say. I'm pretty sure I had tears in my eyes. Like, this was unfreaking believable that this was happening right now. And I'm just staring at it like, it's on my chest, but I'm like, I don't want to touch it. Like, I'm like, what do I do? Do I move? And he's like, oh, grab your phone, give it to Nick, take pictures. Like, so we'll have to find a way to throw the picture up that Nick took, that thankfully you didn't screw it up. I was pretty nervous.
I took like 50
of me standing with KARL Malone in his home with the Dream Team medal and the 96 gold medal around my chest, like I won like I won them, right?
All that was missing was a national anthem playing in the background.
Yes. And it might have been playing. I was so stuck that I didn't even know what was going on. Like, do I just like, what do I do? Like, that was magical. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is the exact reason why when these guys call you to have a meeting or invite you to their home, you do whatever it takes to get it done. And it's like, in that moment, my energy's through the roof. I'm so excited. It skipped my mind that we had an 8-hour travel day just to get back to Houston, and then 2 hours to Louisiana the night before, 4 plus hours to the middle of Louisiana the night before, 4 hours back to Lake Charles to get our boy at the casino, 2 hours back home to get home. And it's just like that moment right then and there, like, made it all worthwhile. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. To wrap up the adventure to the middle of nowhere, beautiful pine tree forest that never ended area of Ruston, Louisiana. We didn't go out there just for fun. We didn't go out there just for show and tell. We unfortunately can't talk about what we have lined up and what the meeting was about, but I wanted to share that story with you guys in the moment. I promise you there's no one watching this that's ever put on a Dream Team medal, because there's only 12 of them. And I don't think Michael Jordan's inviting people over to try on his medal. And to my knowledge, I believe Christian Leitner sold his, and I helped broker the deal for Clyde Drexler to sell his. So for a player to actually put the Dream Team medal on you is pretty cool. Is one of my top career surreal holy cow moments that I've ever had.
One that he owns is a big deal too. Right. If you sell it and then you
sell it
meet
and the rich guy
buyer,
buys
yeah.
it, and Timmy Tommy, the stockbroker, it's not the same.
Right.
Like the dream team member who won it put it on my neck.
Right.
Like,
And a key member of the team.
key member, correct.
So
Yes. So this wraps up our couple-month extravaganza, the Fitterman Sports Roadshow. So we started with the Andre Johnson signing in Houston, went to Vegas to do Tyson, went to Nashville, went to Palm Beach, Florida, went to Chantilly, Virginia, went to Charlotte, went to Louisiana, and here we are.
Yeah.
Middle of December. Holidays are right around the corner. We have a few signings coming up. We hope everyone's doing well. Did I miss anything? Did I miss a funny story or awkward moment, or no, we covered it?
Killed it.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you to all the folks behind the scenes who make everything that we do possible, including the podcast folks. Thank you to the entire Fitterman Sports team and family. Thanks to all the fans. Stay tuned for more exciting things, and I'm sure we'll push out a couple more episodes before the year's over. So like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. You guys have a great day. Much love, and we'll see you guys soon.
I ain't never missed my cue.
So guys, how big was this house y'all went to?
So
It was massive.
it was massive. So we drive up and it's got a huge gate, and we
It
couldn't
was a
even
compound, and we couldn't
couldn't
even
even
get into
in the gate. And then his wife actually pulled in behind us and
Buzzed us in.
opened the gate, and she's like telling me like to go in. So then
Was the house 2-story?
yeah, we saw a portion, and then
We saw a fraction of what we're describing as a sliver of the home. It was
walking
2-story.
in the kitchen. There's a slide. like
Oh, I
like
remember that.
like 5 circles.
Oh,
kinda?
it
It's
was a
like
big slide.
just coming straight down, drops you in the kitchen. I don't know. I never saw stairs to get upstairs.
Well, you don't walk up the slide downwards.
Slide.
Probably had an
Yeah,
elevator.
so there was a slide in between like the kitchen and the hallway to
Right.
his office. And
Yeah.
so
It was an open concept house.
it was just a slide, and then it's like you pop out of the slide and then boom, there's a full-size zebra.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.